See, the whole point in taking the bubbles out is because if there's a bubble right there and I mud over top of that bubble with drywall mud, as it dries, it's gonna make a bubble in them drywall mud, and then you have to take a knife and cut it out, peel it, and then re-mud it, because that's why it's so important to get all your bubbles out now. And just like how I'm running this mesh, seeing that this is a wall that's always gonna do this, you at least want to double up. Like when I run this piece, when you run the second piece, you want to half and half it. That's why whenever I do these, you want at least 3 or 4 strands over top of that. I wish I would have took it over a little bit farther, just to give it that extra security, but it'll still hold like that. But each one of those is crisscross for a reason. You gotta overlap each other, just like this one. That crack goes from here up, so I don't have to go this way. Then I'm gonna crisscross. It's so hard to see this light. See how I crisscrossed it right there? And whenever you got a bubble that's not touching, it'll look different. It's like taping with blue tape or anything. When you smash it, there's a difference in taping something and knowing why you're taping it. Taping something, you don't know what you're really doing. Like, what's the point of it? And you're just making, like, you're just playing the part of looking like you're doing what you're supposed to be. Because if I'm gonna ask you, what's that tape for, and you can't explain it, then yeah, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. Just an FYI, these little extra straplies like this, try to get them off now, because when you're mudding it, the first thing it's going to do is lift up. Every one of them that do that, every one of those things that do that, they'll keep popping up. So just take them off. See if it hurt digging it out of your mud. Chimney is bad. And what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to hit everything up to as far as I can reach. And then when I get on a ladder and hit the ceiling, I'll be able to bring all that stuff down to it. Run all your mesh first, and then you ain't gotta mesh it as you go. Because it does take a little bit of time to put this stuff down. I mean, you can spend all the time you need to doing it, because the last thing you want to do is spend much time in something and have to go back around and fix it. The reason why I'm doing one side and the other, because this corner bead, you're supposed to run paper tape down through here. I'm not running paper tape. I'm gonna mesh it this way. It should be tight enough. It should hold it good enough as long as I got. You don't realize it, but there's ears on this. All the way around it, and all the way across it, and all the way down it. So when you run it tight up against another piece, they'll interlock together, and the drywall will metal hold it down. So if you're getting low and you got one patch left, you can literally run it side by side. It'll be fine. But I try to overlap it a little bit just to give it that extra little security. Because the plaster cracks is a painter's worst nightmare. They never stop. They keep traveling. I mean, we can come back and fix these every 4 or 5 years if you want. If the homeowners want that kind of money, we can come back and fix them every 4 or 5 years. But the point is, if you don't do this with the mesh, paper tape will wrinkle every time this moves. Every time that crack moves, this wall moves. Like every time the wind blows, it shakes this house. And the last thing you want to do is have this thing keep cracking out, because what it does, it cuts itself. And that's why this right here's back again, because it's probably about 10 years old since we patched it last time, and it literally cut through the mesh that's already down. That's why it's not so bad, because we've already addressed this thing a few times in the past. This house had a bunch of water damage, so they had to come through and repair a bunch of stuff. Back when they first bought the house, like 20-some years ago. And I remember being here working through the subcontractor, and then it's funny because I come back and got to work with the homeowners directly through the company I'm with now. But you can always tell a spot that's been messed with before, especially on plaster walls, because plaster walls are not 45 at all. That's why it's such a cut line, because it's been mudded before. And if you look through there, if it wasn't on there, but you can see it, there's drywall mud underneath there, just a thin layer of drywall mud. But this stuff will cut it every time. It's just super sharp. I mean, you can cut your hand on it. You just slice your hand over top of that too many times, and just slice your hand up if you want. It'll cut your hand up. That's how sharp that stuff is. It's nothing to play around with. But once I bed all this tape, once I bed all this mesh, it's fiber mesh, which we got this stuff and this stuff, which I want to make I could probably make a video about it if you guys want me to, but I'll show you the difference. See how fine that one is and how coarse that one is? This one here is a lot thinner and it's closer to the wall. This one's more coarse and a little healthier. But if you got a problem area that keeps coming back, you want to use this. And I mean, you can double it up if you want, if it's that bad. But they also got this stuff, which is a fiberglass. It's a fiber tape. But yeah, you see these? This from the fiberglass that comes off this stuff. I was holding it like this when I first started using this stuff years ago. And man, it tore my hands up. And I got fiberglass on my fingers, I can't get it out. That's what those little bumps are. Yeah, they don't never go away either. They bite the crap out of me though. But there is different material. And that's why people don't understand. Like, there's so much that goes into this stuff. Like, they got this stuff and wider stuff. I mean, you can get this stuff in almost a foot wide. You can get this stuff in almost a foot wide. This stuff here, I don't think you can get it a foot wide, but the nice thing about this stuff is when you use this, say I put some mud across the seam, and then I put that fiber tape down, because this stuff ain't sticky. It's not sticky at all. So you gotta literally have your drywall mud in your hand as you're using it. So it's a little more difficult. But what you do is you slide some mud across it, and then you stick it to the mud, and then you smash it again. Let it dry. Stick another coat of mud over top of that. And if you work with it, you'll figure out that you can get away with only 2 coating this tape, where this stuff here is probably going to take 3 coats. 1 to bed it, 1 to build it up, and then 1 to flatten, like to smooth it out. But this one here is, the reason why is because when you sand this, and you sand through the drywall mud, and you hit these, you're gonna have to patch that spot again. This stuff here, when it dries and you sand through it, you actually sand through it. So it does help when it comes to cutting costs on having to go back and do a bunch of drywall repairs. But this stuff is a bear to work with. I mean, it is not fun to work with. I don't like it. It gets you in your eyes. Let me tell you, if they could get their stuff together on this stuff, I'd be sold. Plus, you can't do corners with it. Like, you can fold it into like paper tape and fold it, stick in the corner. But the second you put drywall mud down through it, it's gonna cut through it. Same with these. That's why you're not supposed to put this stuff in the corner. You're supposed to use paper tape. When you put paper tape in the corner, you don't cut through the paper tape with your knife. This stuff you will, this stuff you will, and this stuff you would definitely cut through. That shows you how sticky or how tough this stuff is. And it's actually really nice. Like it's a fine material. It's real thin. You know what I mean? It's almost about the thickness of paper. Yeah, but once you put drywall mud on it, it's done. Like, if you drop drywall mud on it, if you're not using it while it's still wet, you gotta cut it off, because it's gonna ruin the whole roll. But this stuff right here is the future. They just need to get it to where it's not so damning to people's hands, eyes, and I mean, you get this stuff on your clothes and you're just itching. But it's a great product because it was thinking outside the box when it comes to only using 2 coats of mud. I like this stuff. Don't get me wrong. But when I want a sure thing, I go to this. This stuff is good if you got it. And it does cut a whole coat of mud out. Like, you bed it, then you're on your finished coat on top of that, and you're good. This stuff, you kind of bed it, and then put your builder coat on it, and then you're smooth finish. And then you sand it, and you got a finished product. But that's 3 steps to give you an idea. Depending on how many rooms you do at a time, it could take a whole day just to put the first coat of mud on, and then come right back through the second day, put the second coat of mud on, and come right back through the third day, put the third coat of mud on. Like, it's a process. But if you like what you see, subscribe. I'm trying to build my channel up. I'd be grateful. I'd be real grateful. But you guys have a good afternoon, and God loves you. I love you. Peace out.